These fucking lashes, I'm so annoyed. I want them off of my face. Material girl, I want Chanel now boost. Okay, so I don't really know what to tell you. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, but yo, when I tell you life is crazy, like life is so crazy. For a minute, I've been feeling like I've done all the research that I could do on, you know, life, manifesting, angels, angel numbers, all of them things, right? I got to a point where I would get new information, but it really wouldn't be new. It would be another lesson. It would be a lesson that I knew already, packaged differently, which I would appreciate because it was a good reminder, but it wasn't like new information. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know this. Like, I needed this information. This was helpful, right? Feeling like I did all that I could do in terms of learning, in terms of research, in terms of studying, right? Because I feel like I could explain any theory that I have in my head in grave detail if it wasn't to listen type shit, right? So it was like I couldn't spend any more time researching. I had to just implement what I've learned into my everyday life. Like I had to really be about it. Like I couldn't just talk about it. I had to be about it. Couldn't just read about it. I had to be about it. And I feel like that was like training, sort of say. Like it was that was kind of like I guess you would say a dark night of the soul. Never really understood that term, but now at the space that I'm at, I kind of understand because that's what it felt like at least. What a dark night of the soul is like that time when you have to go inward to emerge victorious type shit. So that's what I feel like I was at. I was training for a very long time, just learning lessons, figuring out what I need to do, figuring out what triggers me, figuring out what my shadow is, figuring out what traumas I had to work through, right? And then now that I know all of those things, I can recognize how they manifest in my everyday life and look at it as a moment to really say like, am I gonna be the person I was or the person that I want to be, right? I had to really, step up. That's the thing. I feel like I was so engulfed in learning my traumas and like figuring out what triggers me and all them things that I, in a way, identified with that person. And I kept, seeing and hearing and knowing that if you want a new life, you have to give up your old one. You can't be the shorty that wakes up at 8 o'clock in the morning if you still the shorty that goes to sleep at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give up your old life to get your new one. I realized that I was holding on to that person. Like, I was so engulfed in that person and, like, just proving that I have a right to feel the way that I am, to be the person that I am because of what I've been through type shit. That in the present moment, I wasn't taking the time to be the bitch that I want to be. I was being the bitch that I was. Make sense? And I was holding on to that so deeply. And I remember I was saying in my last video, I feel like I've done everything that I need to do. And in terms of like the relationship with my parents, my mom especially, I feel like I've done everything that I need to do. Like it's not really my battle at this point. And that's when resolution came, at least to me, that's what it felt like. Because then I feel like she reached out and I felt like for the first time, she actually understood where I was coming from, and actually it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't what it used to be, right? I felt like I forgave her before she, reached out and everything, but I still was struggling with what that looks like, what that feels like. And then after, I got my apology and everything, that's when I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And that's why I'm still struggling with forgiveness, because if forgiveness is for me, then I shouldn't have needed that to feel that difference. But I guess that's another thing to work through at another time. Even at that moment when, I did get that apology, I felt a lot of resistance. And then I had to think like, I used to be the shorty with a mother that, I couldn't talk to and shit like that, right? But I don't want to be her. So why would I continue to move as if I am her? You know what I'm saying? I gotta, you know, move past it, be better to get better. Do better to get better type shit, right? After I came to that little epiphany realization again or whatever, it was really just it kind of just like clicked. It was just like, you just broke a generational curse. You just broke a curse. Because like, that's what curses are. At least to me in my head, curses are repetitive thought patterns, or like subliminal thoughts that you tell yourself that are limiting, that are detrimental, that are damaging. Whether you know it or not, if they're damaging, it's a curse, right? And to break a curse, to break a spell, you have to stop that train of thought. You have to stop that train of thought. You have to no longer identify with it, let it pass. And even further clarified what meditation is, because I at one point was getting really good at meditating, was able to, clear my thoughts for like 20-30 minutes at a time type shit, and really just stayed present and, in the moment type shit, right? And if a thought would pop up, you know I was able to not identify with it and just let it pass very easily. Fell out of that habit, getting back into it, but I'm getting back into it with a different understanding, because yeah, I was good at it, but I really didn't understand what its purpose was, right? And now that I'm getting back into it from a different like viewpoint, through it, looking at it through a different lens, I feel like I can see when it's working in my life outside of when I'm in meditation. Because during meditation, if you're able to stop your thoughts and not identify with them, no matter what they are, then during your everyday life, when you're kind of on autopilot, moving through the day, and these thoughts will come up, you're able to step back and be like, don't want to deal with that one. Let's talk about something else, right? And I feel like that's the main difference between every every other moment other than meditating, if this makes sense. So like, if you're not meditating, right, and you're just like going through the day, you know thinking about your thoughts, whatever, in your head and out your head or whatever, if a thought pops up that you don't want to identify with, it's going to be way easier to detach from the thought and let it pass. But then you could pick a new thought. You could talk about something else. You could think about something else. Most often, you gotta think about gratitude, which is why, I do my nails, because if I'm thinking about something bad and I look at them, I'm like, man, period. Back in a good mood, right? That's when I'm not meditating. But when I'm meditating, we don't think about anything. We let the thought pass, and we go right back to the present moment. We don't pick up something else. And just coming to that little like realization, it's helping me out like a weight, like so much more, so much more, right? And just having all them, realizations or whatever. I'm really noticing my manifestations coming quicker and quicker and quicker. Like, man, shit. Like, when I tell you, my life has done like a complete 180. Okay, maybe not complete, but damn near like it's a different life. Like, there's a whole bunch of similarities, but like there's a whole bunch of changes that's happened, and I'm just like, it's because I'm becoming the bitch that I wanted to be, like, for real, for real. Like, it's that's why I haven't been here in so long, like, because it's just like so much has changed and so much has happened that's just been hard to really like get a grasp on everything and take a moment to sit down and just come to the camera, really just talk about how I'm feeling, what's been going on. Because it is like 3 o'clock in the morning right now, so 2:19. What is on my face? Okay, so it is like 2:19 in the morning, because this is the only time I really was like, okay, I can really do this, right? So obviously, all them thoughts, whatever, came to another little conclusion, I guess you could say, because so I had just got my tattoo, and the basis or the foundation, I don't know, the words on the tattoo say, hurry is fair and consequently destructive. And I know I spoke about this before and how much I resonated with that quote. Obviously, why I got it tattooed. But I really had to sit and recognize fear. That's what I had to do. I had to recognize fear, because a lot of times fear manifests itself in completely different ways, or like little sly little ways you wouldn't really immediately think, oh, I'm scared, but it's really fear. And I had to not allow fear in. I had to realize that fear is going to be what allows regression. It's going to be what puts me back into that bitch that I was, that I'm not trying to be no more. And fear the future is just anxiety. Fear the past is just depression. And I had to realize I'm not living in the future or the past right now. I'm living in the present. And your mind always gonna wanna reference things from the past, because that's what the mind does. You know what I'm saying? That's especially what the ego does. It's gonna look to the past and be like, yo, what that happened, so it can happen again. If you really want to be that bitch and manifest what the fuck you want, you cannot allow that. Like, even if every time you went to the grocery store on Junction, you got shitted on by a pigeon, you gotta think to yourself for real, like, well, that was last time. I'm talking about now. That's different. I'm going to Junction. I'm not talking about last time I was going to Junction. I'm talking about now I'm going to Junction, not getting shitted on. Matter of fact, don't even talk about how you're not getting shitted on, because you're focusing on the shit. Just talk about you going to Junction. It's gonna be lit. You're gonna be popping. It's gonna be fun. And guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna be popping. It's gonna be fun. And you have to keep that mindset, because things are gonna keep popping up on your way to Junction, while you're at Junction, before you go to Junction, that gonna tell you to be scared, tell you to fear what's going on, or tell you to think about some shit you don't want to happen. And guess what? You're gonna manifest exactly what you didn't want to happen. I have to really, really realize that every single time a thought popped up in my head that did not align with who I was. And I know that sounds easier said than done, because it is. And I'm not perfect, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of times where I really sit and like ruminate in negativity, because it's easy and it's comfortable. And once you have a thought, it's very easy for that train of thought to take off and chugga down the motherfucking tracks, and you can't get off, right? But you can't get off, right? Most often, what I would do is check in with how I'm feeling physically, or just notice what's going on physically, because most often when I get into when I get on that train, I start shaking, I start tapping, I start chittering, I start tapping my nails, I start doing something, and my body's letting me know I'm anxious, I'm not fucking with this energy, let's not think about it no more. And then I'm like, let me think about something I do, like, that's what I do, right? And like I said, I'm not perfect, but that's what I've been doing, and that's what I've been noticing. That's what's been going on. That's what's been going on. I'm also lonely again. I mean, I don't feel like I was ever not lonely. Okay, I don't know. I feel like I did go to a cute little moment where I didn't feel as lonely as um, I did in the past, but I feel like I'm getting back to that state. I don't know. So I feel like I am, but I'm not as sad about it. I'm really just confused and impatient. So let me break it down. So you see all them shit, you see everything I just talked about just now. That is like literally scratching the surface on how shit goes on in my head, like how I'm thinking, what I'm thinking about, my beliefs, you know, my truth, everything. Like that literally scratches the surface. And I feel like I don't have anybody around me that has the depth that I have, or has the same type of depth, depth, the same type of depth. Do you pronounce the P? Depth, depth, the same type of depth. Okay, the same type of deepness that I have, right? And it's lonely, and I don't want to feel like because I used the thing is too, like the thing is before I felt like I used to feel sort of kind of better than others because I'm like, oh, I'm really tapped in on some spiritual shit. Y'all niggas is not 333 like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, that's what I was like feeling, but I don't really feel that way no more. I just feel like there's a difference, and it really like dawned on me when I was sitting there talking to someone, and we were in person, so our surroundings were the same, and they was going off about how just low vibe things, like shit was just not popping for them. And I'm not saying you can't express your discontent, and I let them vent how they want to vent and shit, because live your life. But they expressing their discontent and shit like that, and I'm looking around and seeing like 2 3 different signs that's like basically telling me like it's gonna be okay. Like there's 333 over there, 1010 right here, and then it's okay right under. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a whole bunch of signs letting me know in the moment like shit's gonna be valid, and they did not pick up or notice any of them. And it kind of felt for a moment like I was living in a different reality than that person, right? And I didn't feel like, oh, I'm better than you. You need to look, nigga, 333, bitch. Why you complaining? But I definitely felt like, okay, because we both here right now, but what you experiencing and what I'm experiencing is like two different things. Like, if I could find a picture, I'm gonna put it up, and it was like the signs are all around us. Like one person was like, the signs are all around us, and the other person was like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? But like in the background, you saw like a whole bunch of angel numbers and shit. Like, and it's just one person was tapped in and the other person wasn't. And it's like what you focus on, that's what you're gonna get more of. And so that's why I've been, focusing on the good and focusing on focus on the shit that I do want. Because don't get me wrong, like I said, my life has definitely changed a lot, but it's nowhere near like we're nowhere near done. Like we just getting started for real. But I'm like, if I focus on the shit that I don't like, I'm gonna get more of the shit that I don't like. So let me focus on the shit that I do like. And I'm being tested. Trust me, I'm being tested because I almost cried twice today within the span of 25 minutes. So, and not even like because I was watching a movie. Like shit was like, I was just like, wow, there's a lot going on right now. Anyway, yeah. So talking to this person, that happened. Felt that little disconnect. I felt like I was able to listen and be there for them at best as I could, and they felt like I was listening and I was there for them. Like I feel like it was a positive like interaction. Like I don't feel like they were like mad at me or I was mad at them. Like that it just happened that it happened, right? But it just kind of had me feeling like, damn, nobody sees shit the way I see shit, and that's just a real minute example just to paint the picture a little bit like how I'm feeling. But I really don't feel like I have anybody around me that is really on the same type of time that I'm on. Like I just feel like I'm on a different frequency than a lot of people around me. And I'm confused because I feel like, right, so let's go back to the tattoo. Go back to the saying, back to the phrase. Hurry is fair and consequently destructive. You have to realize, have to slow down, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? You have to remember that. And there's, just taking a look at a lot of things I've done and like how I've tried to like brute force my way into things, and it's never worked. It's always backfired and gone 10,000 times worse than it could have if I just, let shit be and go with the flow, right? And I'm like, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta trust divine timing, even though I feel like that bitch is always late. Like bitch, if the party started at 9 o'clock, like you can't show up at 10:30 thinking you on time. Like you not late. Like the party's still going, but it's like 10:30, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I'm like, I be trying to brute force things, and I also realize that I like to do I like to do things on my own. Like I really don't like asking for help. Um, I don't really know why I don't like asking for help. I mean, a couple of times that I have asked for help, or some of the people that I have asked for help, always end up like throwing it in my face, like, oh, but I helped you do that, and now you want to. So I don't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like that. Like I don't really like people having to tell me, be able to tell me like, oh, well, I helped you deal with this, so you can't. Like I don't. I'm gonna get it done, and you don't gotta worry about me. I don't know if that's a trauma response or what, but we don't like asking for help. Notice that, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let me ask for help. With these long ass nails, there's a lot that I cannot do, or not even that I can't do. There's a lot that is a little bit more challenging for me to do. Let me ask my friends to help me. They ask me for help all the time. Why can't I ask them, right? And I feel like sometimes I can't ask for real help. You know what I'm saying? Like I can ask, oh, can you help me button this up? Can you help me press this button? Cause you know whatever, right? I can ask for help like that. But there be times where I would want like some more help just realizing or actualizing my dream, whether it's like we physically doing something or we just trying to speak shit into existence. And the help that I'm receiving, I don't feel like it's help. I feel like it's something else. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm always met on I'm met from their level of understand. I don't know if it's level of understanding, but like if I have a vision I'm trying to actualize, I don't need you telling me how it's not possible or you think I should do this. Like, I don't know. I'm not explaining this well. I'm not explaining this well. Because it's like, if I need help with something, I'm asking you to complete my task. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm asking you to complete my task. This don't have shit to do with you. Don't matter if you would have completed it differently. If I'm asking, like, if you would have moved the step stool, then took the box up, then put the box up, right? But I'm asking you to just hand me the box while I'm on the step stool. You just need to hand me the box. You don't need to tell me about how or make me do it your way. Like I'm already in the flow. I'm already doing what I want to do. I just need help getting to the finish line. I don't need to redefine the fucking race. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope I'm explaining this well, because it's just like I really don't feel like niggas is seeing me from my perspective, so to speak. Like, I don't know what I'm saying, because like I feel like, say I speak Spanish, right? And every time I call up this restaurant, I order in Spanish, get my food, right? But then you telling me you want to call up the restaurant and order your food, but you don't speak Spanish, right? Now, if I problem solve the shit from my point of view or from like my understanding, I would just be like, just call the people. What's wrong? Like, why can't you just call the people? But I have to remember that you don't speak Spanish. So now I have to problem solve it from your point of view. All right, you don't speak Spanish. What can we do to get your order in? Can we do it online? Can we do it through Google Translate? Those would never be options for me because I speak Spanish. I would never have to go through online, go through Google Translate. I would just pick up the phone and call. But you don't, and you're the one asking me for help. So it wouldn't make sense for me to just be like, just pick up a call. I have to think about it from your point of view, from your perspective, from what's possible for you type shit. And I feel like niggas is never doing that shit when it comes to me. Like if I'm trying to actualize something, it's always from their point of view. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I can't really be mad at niggas for doing that. But it's kind of frustrating. It's kind of just like, alright, so I really won't ask you for help. I really won't ask you, you know what I'm saying, to help me actualize whatever the fuck I'm trying to actualize, because you might not really be helpful. You might just piss me off. And I feel bad. I feel like I should have people around me that I can do that with. I should have people around me that I feel like are vibing on my vibe, timing on my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I'm confused and a little bit like impatient because I feel like I should have it around that I don't, and I'm still not sure what to do presently, because it's not like I hate my friends. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to be friends with them, but I just feel like I should have more friends that I feel the same vibe with, or that type of vibe with. And I know what's coming. I know everything's not gonna happen overnight. I kind of have to. I don't want to say earn it because that makes it feel like, you can do bad when you really can't do anything. You really can't do bad. You just have to learn your lessons. You know what I'm saying? But I have to stay on course. Like I have to really keep being the bitch that I want to be the bitch that I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. I'm about to say regurgitate. I can't regress. What's the word? I can't. What's the word for regression? But like the verb. Anyway, I can't, be that old bitch. You know what I'm saying? We trying to be that new bitch. We're not even trying. We are. We're that new bitch, and I'm, I'm out here. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I had so much to say because it's been so long, but I feel like I covered a lot. Yeah, I feel like I got everything for the most part. As I'm seeing my manifestations come to life quicker and quicker, it's sometimes easy to get trapped in this kind of like thought process of like, damn, I don't have it yet. So like, oh, when is it gonna come? When is it gonna come? I don't have it. And I have to remember that even that is like some type of fear, some type of, it's not gonna come. So I gotta think about it now. And I just have to remember, sit down, be present. What Kendrick said, be humble. I'm not playing. But just have to remember to just come back to the present moment, come back to the present moment, come back to the present moment. Like there's so much magic in the present moment. There's also so much magic in your thoughts and your beliefs. And there's so much magic in your words. I be joking around and I be talking crazy. When I tell you I'm seeing the magic in my words, like I don't really play like that no more. I don't really, yeah, I'm not really about to play on my body like that. You feel me? Like I'm really about to like, I'm not gonna be a grand rising bitch because you already know how I feel about the grand rising hoes. But man, I'm about to be an intentional ass motherfucker. Like intentional. That's the thing. Intentional. Like you can't. I'm not about to be out here just willy nilly. You feel me? I'm finna be intentional. I am intentional. Period. 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 Okay, yeah. So I think that is all. This was a little bit long, but I feel like it's right on par. Yeah, I feel like I covered so much. So I'm gonna choke about any part that I covered, every part that I covered. You already know where we at with it in the comment section below. Hit me up, talk to your girl, talk to me. You already know where we at with it. And I'm gonna catch you on the flip side. You already know what it is.